This is a 2012 Chevy Silverado. It's got a check engine light on, so let's check it out. Okay, I ran a quick scan with the scan tool, and we have two codes in here, a P0455, which is an Evap large leak detected, and a P0449, which is Evap emission vent solenoid control circuit. So this indicates that there's an issue with the circuit of the vent solenoid. It could be a bad vent solenoid, typically it is, but it also could be a bad wire in between the PCM and the vent solenoid. So we're going to focus on this code because there's a good chance that this code caused that code. So we're going to chase this one down first. Okay, so we're up underneath the truck. This is the driver's side frame rail. For context, this is the fuel tank right here. We're in front of the fuel tank. Here's a charcoal canister, and this is the Evap vent solenoid. And I'm going to work on getting this thing down so I can get the electrical connector unplugged, and we're going to check wiring integrity from this connector up to the PCM. I've got some small T-pins, and I'm just going to back probe the back side of this connector. And then just to show you guys, there's nothing there right now. There's no power running through the circuit. And now I'm going to take my scan tool and I'm going to go into the outputs, and I'm going to energize the vent solenoid on the scan tool, which should show us a voltage across those two pins. Okay, the commanded state is on. And we have power. The test light's lighting up. This is a small incandescent bulb. This wouldn't work if you were using a headlight bulb or something big like that. So on, and we'll command it off. If I had a helper here, this would be a lot cooler. No light, off. I'm going to command it on one more time. Okay, so with that light lighting up, we know that we can control this with the scan tool, so we know that the wiring integrity is good from this connector all the way up to the PCM. So we know that this is bad, so let's change this. Has black tape on it. I'll bet you this had a check engine light, and it had a code in it for performance, vent performance at one point in time, and somebody pulled this off and blew it out with an air hose, and then they taped it back on, because that's common. That happens. That's exactly what it was. Look at it. So this is our replacement part. It is a Dorman, part number 911-099. I would have liked to have used a dealership part for this, a GM part, but they did not have one in stock. And Dorman was in stock, and it was 20 minutes away, and they deliver, so it's hard to pass that up. It doesn't come with the hose like the dealer one does, but it comes with a new vent to put on the hose up at the gas cap. Comes with that in case you need it. And let's just do a quick parts comparison here. Oh wow, look at this. Let me see if that's showing up. Look at the crack right there. This is on the, this is metal. This is the electric side. This is the solenoid side of this valve. This is just plastic. You can take this cap off. There's probably a bunch of dirt in there, a little filter in the top or something. But look at that crack. Anytime you have a crack in anything metal that, or anything electronic that's metal, it's going to be no good. That's a real... I didn't see that. Of course, you couldn't see that when it was up in there because it was tucked up in there like that. But that's a pretty good indicator that this is absolute garbage. And that whenever you're trying to diagnose something electrical and you run into something like this, it makes you feel real good because that's your smoking gun right there. The new one is considerably larger, but it is, everything else is right on it. Okay. Yep, the connector's the same. So this one just comes with these little rubber hoses. I guess you're just supposed to shove those plastic hoses in the end and then just put these clamps over them on each end and call it good, I suppose. That'll work. I was just looking at this and I thought this hose looks pretty big in comparison to the one that it's replacing. It is big. It's huge. And then, I mean, that doesn't do anything. So that's not going to work. And then this hose looks like if you really stretched it, it'll go on there, but holy cow, that's going to take some effort. So I'm going to see if I have some different hoses that fit these ends here that'll splice this together. Right, Penny? What you think? Interrupt your nap? I think that's a 5/8. That'll work. What do we got here? I guess we'll just try that. That's all we got. Okay, so the smaller hose is 5/8. And let's see. Yeah, so it takes some force, but it goes on there. This is a thinner, you know, that other hose is probably a 5/8 hose too, but it's real thick. This one's a lot thinner. Look at the comparison. This one's real thick. This one's thinner. It'll flex, it'll go on there. And I tried it on the vent solenoid and it does fit it. This one here is a 19 millimeter, 3/4 inch. So it does fit. It fits a little loose, but I've got to tape that up because somebody cut through that previously. So I'll wrap a few strands of tape around there to take up the difference. You got to remember this is only venting atmosphere pressure. There's no force. There's no pressure going down this line right here, so that's going to work just fine. So before I go taping this up, I'm just going to take my blowgun, force some compressed air through here. Just make sure the line's clear. Any dust that's in there would hopefully vacate with the forced air. And I'm just going to take some black tape, some electrical tape, and I'm going to I'm going to tape this back together here. We'll put the tape around it a few times. That'll kind of build up the diameter of this, make it fit a little snugger in that rubber hose. Again, this isn't very crucial, to be honest with you. I mean, the old vent solenoids just had a filter right on them. They didn't even have this stupid hose that goes all the way up there. So this isn't. If you had the same problem and you skipped this part right here, you'd probably be just fine. But this truck's really dirty, and this guy drives it through the woods and down a lot of gravel roads, so we want this Dorman replacement vent solenoid to last as long as possible. So we want to keep the dirt out of it as good as we can. Okay. Let's get this guy here cleaned up a little bit. Oh. See if we can squeeze that over there. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. Let's get her plugged in here. Whoa. Sorry about that. So this should slide like that. I don't even think these clamps are necessary, to be honest with you. That thing fits in there so tight. Just the perfect amount of tension. A lot. All right, that's going to work. There. Installed. Okay. Let's clear the code and see if it comes back. All right, back to our scan tool. We're going to clear the codes, and we'll be able to confirm that the circuit code is fixed, because if it's not fixed, it's going to show right back up. So it's green, but there's no DTC. Okay, so it's fixed. So you saw me clear 2 trouble codes, and you're probably thinking you only fixed one of them. Well, the reason for that is I believe this piece right here caused both of the codes. The main code that we chased down was the circuit fault, which is clearly this was the culprit. The second code was P0455, I believe. That's for a large leak detected. More than likely, this lost its ability to seal when this thing failed, and it got moisture in here and it rusted out, and then it expanded, and that's what cracked the plastic. But even if that wasn't the case, each one of these cracks is a leak. There's a crack right there, a very significant one. There's a crack right there. There's another one right there, and there's another one right there. Even with just one of these cracks, that's going to be enough to set that P0455 code. So this was definitely the culprit, I believe, for both of the trouble codes. And if it wasn't, well, I'll make a part 2 on this truck, because this belongs to a very good customer friend of mine. So he will let me know if that light comes back on. Chevy Silverado Evap vent solenoid replacement. It's pretty easy. Would have been a little bit easier if this would have came with the vent hose and I didn't have to find pieces of rubber to patch it together, but nonetheless, it was pretty easy. Save yourself some money, do it yourself. If you made it this far in this video, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching.